you. Happy Thursday.
Hey Mason, happy Thursday. When was the last time I learned something by jumping into the deep end? I would have to say, I feel like I'm always jumping into the deep end. It's kind of sink or swim. Not that I don't have the experience to draw on, it's just I feel as though many things I do, I'm jumping into the deep end. For example, doing events, raising a kid, living in a different country, always jumping into the deep end. When it comes to work, anytime somebody would say, hey Steven, can you do that? I'm always like, yeah, sure man, no problem. Say, okay, cool. I'm like, oh, now I gotta do it. So, I have a lot of experience doing design and theater and events. But every time I do events, I'm still kind of nervous. I'm like, oh, you're only as good as your last event. But when I first started, somebody said, hey man, you think you can be the technical director of this theater? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, okay, cool, you got the job. Oh, now I gotta stand up and come through. I remember a couple times, first time on the job, somebody says, hey man, you got a Fresnel? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, let me go up in the office. Up in the office, I have to get on the internet. Right, internet. And it's dial-up, 12.2 or 14.4 or something. Like, it's a light. Oh, okay, it's a light, cool. Come downstairs with the light, here you go. They're like, cool. Hey, this light's burnt out, can you change it? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Back up in the office. Fake it till you make it. Out of the frying pan into the fire. But I always do it. So I guess that's the thing. You can jump into the deep end and you might have the experience or you might have the chops, but as long as you get it done and you're successful, that's all that matters, right? I think most everybody could probably agree that raising children, especially your first, is like jumping into the deep end. Everything's new. The first time they bump their head, the first cold, going to school, traveling, it's all new. There's lots of books and there's websites and there's bunches of material out there and resources and people with kids and friends and relatives with kids. But each kid is unique and every day you're constantly learning. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's sublime and so terrifying. But it's also something that I'm willing to learn, that I want to learn, that I'm happy to learn, and excited to learn. When someone decides to move to a different country, that's definitely jumping into the deep end. Because there are so many things you need to do. Set up a bank account, deal with immigration, deal with City Hall, deal with government offices, get a phone, do your taxes. Maybe your kid needs to go to school. You need a job also. You gotta find a job. You gotta write a resume. You gotta go to work. You gotta deal with things at work. So many things into the deep end. For example, at one of my jobs, I'm constantly being asked, what do I think? When I give my opinion, I realize they weren't looking for my opinion. They just wanted to hear what they wanted to hear. So I'm learning how not to put my foot in my mouth. Speaking of work, I know all the jobs I do these days, everyone has different protocols for COVID. Some people you need a mask, some you need a face shield, some you need to do a PCR test. Everybody's different. There is no set rule, which would make it a lot easier. However, some places are not lax, but less stringent than others. How about you, man? At your job, how are the protocols? Are they strict? Not so strict? Is it the same in every department? All right, man, let me know. I'll talk to you next week, okay, bro? All right, peace!